Today's video, I'm going to show you what someone in the early 1930s would possibly take with them to squirrel camp. We're talking, you know, the small things. Now, when I go squirrel hunting, I don't take a whole lot of stuff with me. I usually just take like a day bag with the various things that I need. I might pack a lunch, I might not pack a lunch. Last week, I showed you guys, you know, the Preston Mess Kit and how nice this is if you're going to stop and have some lunch. Now, today's video isn't going to be about that kind of scenario. It's going to be going out, doing your hunting, and coming back and maybe having lunch somewhere else in a stable camp. But there are certain things I always take with me squirrel hunting, and I can translate my modern hunts into history. And all I have to do is just look back and see what would have been available to someone in the early 1930s that they may use in the place of like my day bag. For that, I'm going to my good old trusty haversack turned into pack. Now this is a Spanish-American War surplus haversack. Now it's not original, it's a reproduction from What Price Glory. I've got an article on my website, www.honorableoutfitters.com, that explains this, and I've got several videos as well. So if you just look up in my videos, the haversack, you'll find this. But this is like my favorite little pack to take when I'm going day trekking or day packing or something like that, because it's such a nice size. I can use this as a haversack and I can use it as a backpack via this. Now, one thing you'll notice, it's a little odd, is I made these leather pads here because when they start getting some weight in them, they started cutting your shoulders. So I was like, man, I get tired of doing that, and I saw this in a primary source, so this is what I did. I made a little adaptation. I also know that a chest strap works really well for bringing that together, especially since the anchor points are kind of wide instead of more towards the center, so that chest strap really helps bring it all together. All right, so I digress. What would I take with me, small things wise, squirrel hunting? Well, let's start with what I carry on my person, because some things are just nice to have immediately about you that you can grab when you need it. In my right pocket here, I have my handkerchief. I also have my pocket knife. This is a small little moose pattern pocket knife. On my left side, I have my gloves, because I expect it to be cool in the morning. You never know. So you got your gloves, and I've got my Zippo lighter. Now the Zippo grew in fame after 1933, so this fits my 1930s personality. Right above my right pocket, you'll see this. This is not a pocket watch, although I often do carry a pocket watch. This is my compass. So this is a see-by-night compass from the 1910s, 1920s, and it still functions wonderfully. It's still very true to the right direction, which is really important when you go out in the middle of the woods hunting. You want to be able to have a general idea. You may not need something super fancy depending on how deep in the woods you're going to get, but having an idea of like north, south, east, west, and approximate direction of where you head in and approximate direction of where you're heading out, that's really important. I'm going to Dave Canterbury's place the week after next, and for our historic squirrel camp. So I'm not very familiar with that area at all, so I definitely want to take navigational tools with me. That way I'm safe, along with my son, because I'm going camping with him. And in my left pocket here is my tube whistle. Now, a whistle is just really nice to have in case of emergency. You blast it 3 times, and that's a signal for emergency. But say if my son and I get separated, I can whistle, he can whistle, and we know where each other is. I like being able to have that really close instead of having to dig around it in case there is an emergency. So those are my little pocket items. The next thing I have here, especially since my vision's not all that great and we're not using scopes, I have an aluminum early 1910s, or maybe 1910s, early 1920s, aluminum binoculars. Now what's really cool about these binoculars is they have the little slides out, so it casts if the sun is casting down on you, it gives you a little bit of shade. You don't get that glare. But these are about 4 power, you know, so it makes things about 4 times bigger at the best setting for clarity. But they're aluminum, so they're really, really lightweight. Now these would have been pretty premium items in the early 1900s. This is made by Lamat. Let's see. I'm sorry. La Mer Fabi in Paris. It's a pretty expensive, pretty nice pair of binoculars. Let's take a look at what's inside the bag now. A lot of this isn't going to surprise you. I have my thermos here, which I always keep full of coffee. It's just nice, especially when you find a nice spot to hunker down, to keep an eye out for squirrels. You got yourself some coffee there, keep you warmed up, enjoy yourself a little bit, boost your morale, gives you a little bit of energy, and it's just now a tradition for me and my son. In my little poke sack here, I've got some cordage, which I could use for lots of different things. But when you're hunting for small game, sometimes it's just nice to be able to tie it around their feet and dangle it off your pack, off your belt or something like that. Now, to be honest, I always usually take a grocery sack, like a little plastic Kroger's bag or something that I throw my game in, and then I usually tie that around my bag. But each to their own. I have my sharpening stone here. I have several of my blanket pins. Again, it's just nice to have in case you need to make a major repair. I have my P51 can opener here, which has lots of different uses. It just never really leaves that bag. I'm not planning on eating in this scenario, but you know, it's always there. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. I have my belt knife. Now, do I really need to take the belt knife when I'm hunting in this particular scenario? Probably not. I just always like having it in case. It's more of that comfort item really at this point, more than a practical item. I already have my small pocket knife that I know is razor sharp in here, along with my sharpening stone, so I could sharpen it more if I really need a knife. But my belt knife, like I said, it's a comfort thing. I have my first aid kit in here. Now in my first aid kit, I have a mirror, I have diaper ointment, I have foot powder, I have my medications, I have Neosporin, a couple extra batteries for my flashlight, which I'm not taking a flashlight in this situation, but it's always in there. Some Q-tips, some Band-Aids, a glasses repair kit along with glass cleaner wipes, and tweezers with a little flashlight. So a lot of more modern stuff in that. But when it comes to my first aid kit, I really don't play around and go retro, and I really don't go minimalist compared to others. I have some fat wood here, just in case something happens. Within 24 hours, I know I can probably get out of any scenario that I'm going to be in. But just in case if I need to make a fire, I've got my fat wood there to help dry me out, keep me warm, give me comfort, or even signal. And I have my container full of Strike Anywhere matches, and I've got my sewing kit. Now, I take my sewing kit whenever I go out someplace because there's nothing worse than walking around, especially when cold weather, if there's a draft in your pants or your shirt or something like that. So being able to make just a temporary repair, doesn't have to look pretty, but just a temporary repair to get me from point A to point B is really good to have. And that's it. And you may notice like this writing on my pack. This is something that I just started at the Gather thing. This is my story bag, because this is the pack that I always take with me wherever I go somewhere. So I've kind of figured that's going to be the place where I start getting signatures of people who I get introduced to, that I meet along my adventures, and I write down the date, where I'm at, and some of the people that were there with me. It's just a really cool reminder of the adventures that I have. I also usually carry a journal too. That way I can write down all those memories. So that's it. I think some of the most important things, if you're really trying to break it down to a minimalist kit, for me at least, would be my binoculars, having some matches, having my sewing kit, first aid kit. Probably don't need the sharpening stone if I'm really trying to save weight. I probably don't need the blanket pins because I have some safety pins in my repair kit there. And I have my bandana. If I'm not taking my canteen, like what's in the Preston Mess Kit or another canteen, then I still want to have some type of container that I can carry my water, my drinks, beverages. So now you can't do a whole lot with this. I could scoop up water using the lid here, which is a cup, and use it to boil the water so it's safe to drink. But You know, it's going to take a while to fill this up if I'm looking at it from a survivalist standpoint. But I always go hunting where I'm pretty familiar with, or I always know. I never really track that far off into the woods, to be honest. If I'm unfamiliar with an area, I go maybe 25, 50 yards into a place, and then I come back. Especially if it's too thick, brambly or something like that, I know my limits, and I stay away from it. So there you go. That is my squirrel hunting kit for, you know, a morning or maybe an evening. I'm just going in and coming right back. I'm not planning on eating there. This is what I take when I go small game hunting. Now, if you go small game hunting, what do you add to your kit that you like to have, whether it be a comfort item or an item that you find it's necessary? This by no means is a survivalist pack. But in my experiences, in my years of hunting, this is what I've kind of boiled it down to what I like to take, what I generally need to take, and how I like to use my time. So I'd love to hear your comments, so please comment below. I look forward to it along with everybody else, I'm sure. If you like the video, please click like. That way other people can find it. You're helping them out, and we appreciate it. We really do. If you would like to be on the list, now if you're really contemplating getting the Preston Mess Kit, as of right now we have 39 people that's on the list. I need 500 to make it a possibility. So even if you signed up on the list, if you would help spread the word, I'd appreciate it. So we're about 9%. No, I guess that'd be 6%. We're 6% of the way there to our goal of 500 people. But this kit is amazing. If you haven't seen what the Preston Mess Kit is, I'll have it linked at the end of this video here in a little bit. That way you can check it out and all the cool features. But it's a skillet, it's a cup, it's a canteen, and it's a plate. It's an all-in-one, incredible, versatile kit. So make sure to check out the description box below. Click the link and all the details are on there. And I look forward to this becoming a possibility. And I appreciate all you guys for helping me move it forward. Speaking on that, if you like camping, if you want to be a better camper, if you want to find somebody to, you know, enjoy the experience with you, maybe support you, then I invite you to the Camp Crafters Guild, because that's what it's all about. The Camp Crafters Guild is a place for people who really like camping, who like discussing camping, learning from each other, and sharing. I always say if you're the smartest person in the room, that you're in the wrong room. You need to find other people. And finding a mentor, finding other people who share the same passion to help you grow and to work out things is just, it's a fun, incredible thing. So I hope to see you on the Camp Crafters Guild. www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. Now, if you would like to see the video on the Preston Mess Kit, then check it out here. If you want to see my playlist on hunting, then check it out here. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.